The world was about to come to an end, but no one knew it. People were living their normal lives, eating, laughing, building, completely unaware that judgment was coming. Now imagine this. What if God told you that the world would end in just a few days? What would you do? At that time, in the middle of a corrupt and wicked world, God found one man who was different, one man who still listened, one man who still obeyed. His name was Noah, and what God was about to ask him to do would change the world forever. But before we continue this powerful story, if you love stories like this that reveal deep truths, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can discover it. And if you're watching right now, type "God is good" in the comments and tell me where you're watching from.
Long ago, many generations after the time of Adam, the world had become very wicked. People no longer respected God. They did whatever they wanted. Violence filled the earth. People hurt one another, cheated, lied, and did many evil things every day. When God looked down from heaven and saw the earth, he was deeply saddened. The hearts of people were filled with evil thoughts all the time. The world that God had created had become full of corruption and cruelty. But among all the people living on the earth, there was one man who lived differently. His name was Noah. Noah was a righteous man. He loved God and tried to live a good life. While other people followed evil ways, Noah chose to obey God. Noah walked with God. This means he trusted God and tried to follow his ways in everything he did. Because of Noah's faithfulness, God was pleased with him. One day, God spoke to Noah. God told him that he had seen how wicked the world had become. The earth was filled with violence, and people refused to turn away from their evil ways. Because of this, God decided that he would destroy the earth with a great flood. But God had a plan to save Noah and his family. God told Noah, "I have seen that you are a righteous man in this generation. I will bring a great flood upon the earth to destroy all living creatures, but I will save you and your family." Then God gave Noah a very unusual command. God told Noah to build a huge ark. An ark is a very large ship. This ark would protect Noah, his family, and many animals during the coming flood. God gave Noah very clear instructions for building the ark. The ark was to be made of strong wood called gopher wood. Noah was told to build rooms inside the ark and to cover it inside and outside with pitch so that water could not enter. God also gave the exact size for the ark. The ark was to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. This meant it would be a massive ship, far larger than any boat people had ever seen before. God told Noah to make 3 levels inside the ark and to build a door on its side. He was also to make a window near the roof so that light could come in. Noah listened carefully to everything God said. Then God gave Noah another important instruction. Noah was to bring animals into the ark. 2 of every kind of living creature would come to the ark, so that they could survive the flood and live again on the earth after the waters went away. God also told Noah to gather enough food for his family and for all the animals that would enter the ark. This was a huge task. Building such a massive ark would take many years. It would require hard work, patience, and strong faith in God. But Noah trusted God completely. Noah did everything exactly as God commanded him. So Noah began building the ark. He worked together with his 3 sons. Their names were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Day after day, year after year, they cut down trees and shaped the wood. Slowly, the giant ark began to rise from the ground. As people passed by and saw the huge structure, many of them laughed at Noah. They mocked him and asked why he was building such a large ship on dry land. Some people probably thought Noah was foolish. Others likely ignored his warnings. They did not believe that a flood would come. But Noah did not stop. He continued building the ark just as God had told him. Finally, after many years of work, the ark was finished. Then God spoke to Noah again. God told Noah that the time had come for the flood. He instructed Noah to bring his family into the ark. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives all entered the ark. Then the animals began to come in. Just as God had said, animals came in pairs, male and female, from every kind of living creature on the earth. Large animals and small animals, birds and creeping things, all came toward the ark. Noah and his family guided them inside. When everything was ready, Noah and his family entered the ark. Then something amazing happened. God himself shut the door of the ark. Shortly after that, dark clouds filled the sky. Thunder began to roar. Then the rain began to fall. Rain poured down from the sky for 40 days and 40 nights. Water also burst up from deep beneath the earth. Slowly, the floodwaters rose higher and higher. Rivers overflowed their banks. Fields disappeared under water. Houses and cities were covered by the rising flood. Soon the water covered even the tallest mountains. But the ark floated safely on the surface of the water. Inside the ark, Noah, his family, and all the animals were protected. The flood covered the earth for many months. But God did not forget Noah. After some time, God caused a great wind to blow across the earth, and the waters slowly began to go down. Noah sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground. Then the second dove brought him a stick of leaf in his mouth and flew away, because by then, little by little, the floodwaters had disappeared. Eventually, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Noah waited patiently inside the ark until the earth dried completely. Finally, God told Noah that it was time to leave the ark. Noah, his family, and all the animals came out onto the fresh earth. The world was quiet and clean again. The first thing Noah did after leaving the ark was to build an altar to the Lord. He gave thanks to God for protecting them during the flood. God was pleased with Noah's gratitude. Then God made a promise to Noah and to all people who would live after him. God said that he would never again destroy the whole earth with a flood. As a sign of this promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky. Noah and his family began life again on earth. Whenever people see a rainbow in the clouds, it reminds them of God's promise and his mercy. The story of Noah teaches us about faith, obedience, and trusting God even when others do not believe. Noah listened to God, obeyed his commands, and because of that, he and his family were saved. And to this day, the story of Noah continues to remind people that God sees the world, he cares about what people do,